afternoon, everyone. Now we discuss about the hyperconjugation in the general organic chemistry. So before this we discuss inductive effect. After that, one more permanent effect, that is called hyperconjugation. In general organic chemistry, now we discuss one more topic, that is hyperconjugation. Second one, hyperconjugation. What is meant by hyperconjugation? In which molecule exhibit the hyperconjugation? What are the conditions to show any organic molecule to show the hyperconjugation? First of all, we discuss what are the main conditions of to show the hyperconjugation. First of all, hyperconjugation exists in carbocation, carbon radical, and C11C alkene. These three compounds exhibit the hyperconjugation: carbocation, carbon free radical, alkene. These three only show the hyperconjugation. What are the conditions to show hyperconjugation? First of all, condition the alpha carbon should be sp3 hybridized. Alpha carbon must have at least one alpha hydrogen, alpha CH hydrogen, alpha CH hydrogen. What is hyperconjugation? In which compound it show the hyperconjugation? Hyperconjugation will show carbon cation, free radical, and alkene. In these three compounds only show the hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation must be having this carbocation, free radical, alkene adjacent carbon is called as a alpha carbon. That alpha carbon should be having sp3 hybridized. Alpha carbon must be having at least one alpha hydrogen. Then only show the hyperconjugation. For example, if you take in carbocation, CH2, this is the carbocation, this is the carbon. This carbocation adjacent carbon is this one and also this one. These two carbons are called alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon, this is also alpha carbon. The alpha carbon having here three hydrogens. You write it, this one, this one, this one. These hydrogens are called alpha carbon hydrogens. This is also having two hydrogens. One is this one, one is this one. This is having two alpha carbon hydrogens. This carbon having 4 sigma bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why this is sp3 hybridized. This carbon also having 4 sigma bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also called sp3 hybridized. This molecule will show the hyperconjugation. How many hyperconjugation structures are will show? 1, 2, 3. 3 alpha hydrogen, 3 alpha carbon hydrazed sp3 hyperconjugation structures here plus 2. Total 5 hyperconjugation structures will show this molecule. First of all, what is in which compounds will show the hyperconjugation? and carbocation, free radical and alkene. Then after that alpha, what are the conditions to show hyperconjugation? Alpha carbon should be sp3 hybridized. Alpha carbon must have at least one alpha carbon hydrogen. Then only we show the hyperconjugation. This condition you must remember. Next. Small disturbance. Now we so far discussed about what is which compound will show the hyperconjugation, what are the conditions. Next we discuss in different molecules how it show the hyperconjugation, how to calculate the hyperconjugation structures. For example, if you take in case of in carbocation, for example, if you take in case of carbocation, take one example. This is the carbocation, how it exhibit. This is the carbocation. This carbon is alpha carbon, this carbon also alpha carbon. This is sp3 hybridized. This is also sp3 hybridized. Next, this is having 3 alpha hydrogens. This is having 2 alpha hydrogens. This molecule will show 5 hyperconjugation structures. How it will show? I will explain the mechanism. If you take, for example, if you take this molecule CH2 plus, if you take this one, CH2 plus, how will it? If you break this one, it's converted to like this, CH and double bond CH2 hydrogen plus. If you break this one, this will form the H plus double bond CH2. If you break this one, it will form H plus hydrogen double bond CH2. This is the mechanism. It will form the hyperconjugation structures. If you take next, if you take any examples, how to find out the hyperconjugation structure. First you take molecule 1. This is 1. Next the second one. This is the carbocation. You take third one. Please find out the number of hyperconjugation structures. Find out the total number of hyperconjugation structures. This molecule. If you take this carbocation, this is having 2 hydrogens. This carbon is sp3 hybridized. What are the conditions to show the hyperconjugation? Alpha carbon. This carbon, adjacent carbon is alpha carbon. Alpha carbon must be show the sp3 hybridization. Alpha carbon must have alpha hydrogens. This is having 2 hydrogens, sp3 hybridized. Condition is satisfied. Then it shows the 2 hyperconjugation structures. This molecule. In this case, if you take, this is the carbon. This carbon having 2 hydrogens. This carbon is called 2 hydrogen. This carbon it will have 2 alpha carbons, left and right. This is sp3 hybridized. This is also sp3 hybridized. This is having 2 plus 2, 4. 4 hyperconjugation structures will show this molecule. If in case of, if take this one, this carbon adjacent carbon is this one, this one, this is alpha, this is alpha. This carbon having sp3 hybridized and alpha, this is having 3 hydrogens. If you take this one hydrogen, alpha hydrogen is there, but this hybridization is sp2. What are the conditions we have to show the hyperconjugation? The alpha carbon must be sp3 hybridized. This carbon is having sp2 only. That's why it will not show the hyperconjugation. Only this alpha carbon will show the hyperconjugation. This is having 3 hyperconjugation structures. In this way, you can find out the number of hyperconjugation structures of any molecule. For example, if you take another molecule, take this carbon, take this one, if you take this case, you have to see, find out the number of hyperconjugation structures.